Let's begin with a provocative statement that challenges the very foundation of modern business education. We spend countless hours and resources mastering financial models, operational efficiencies, and digital marketing algorithms. We chase the latest technological disruption, believing it holds the key to market dominance. Yet, what if I told you that the overwhelming majority of your commercial success, the very revenue that keeps your lights on and your dreams alive, hinges not on these complex systems, but on something profoundly human, fundamentally simple, and tragically overlooked? What if 87% of your ability to generate and, more critically, to retain revenue is directly tied to a single ancient skill, the deep, nuanced understanding of people? Not data points, not consumer profiles, but living, breathing, emotional human beings with fears, aspirations, irrational biases, and deep-seated needs they themselves often cannot articulate. This isn't a soft skill relegated to the HR department. This is the hard, core competency that separates market leaders from the forgotten also-rans. To grasp the gravity of this, we must first deconstruct what we think we know about value creation. Consider the parable of the artisan pig farmer. Imagine a farmer who possesses unparalleled expertise in animal husbandry. He invests in the most advanced, climate-controlled barns, utilizes precision nutrition, and monitors the health of each animal with biometric sensors. The physical product, the pig, is, by all objective measures, exceptional. It is the pinnacle of porcine engineering. Now, place this farmer in a marketplace. He has the best pig, but he fails. Why? Because value is not an intrinsic property of the product. Value is a perception formed in the mind of the buyer. If the farmer does not understand the cultural nuances of pork consumption, the specific cut preferences of his target demographic, their concerns about sustainability and animal welfare, or the emotional resonance of heritage breed versus industrial farm, his technological masterpiece is just another commodity. His true competitive edge, his core value, was never in the pig alone. It was in his capacity to align his entire production philosophy, his su-mang or mission, with the unspoken desires of the consumer. The transaction isn't pig for money. It's trust for money, understanding for money, aligned values for money. The money he receives is merely the physical manifestation of that successfully communicated and delivered understanding. This is the first layer of our deep dive, recognizing that all economic exchange is, at its heart, a transfer of perceived value, and perception is a uniquely human phenomenon. Therefore, building a lasting enterprise is less about erecting a skyscraper and more about preparing the ground upon which it will stand. Many aspiring entrepreneurs become fixated on the capital, the seed funding, the Series A, the impressive bank balance. And yes, capital is the lifeblood, the oxygen that allows the organism to breathe. But capital without a foundation is like water on sand. It arrives in a wave and drains away just as quickly, leaving little behind. What is this foundation? It is a composite structure, a platform built upon 4 interdependent pillars. The first pillar is financial acuity, not just having money, but understanding cash flow cycles, unit economics, and capital allocation. The second is technological or operational infrastructure, the systems, processes, and platforms that allow you to execute consistently. The third, and this is the linchpin, is human understanding, a mastery of psychology, motivation, team dynamics, and customer empathy. The fourth is governance and partnership ecosystems, the ability to build and maintain fruitful relationships with all stakeholders, from employees and suppliers to regulators and the media. Only when these 4 pillars are erected in unison do you have a true foundation. On this stable base, you can then begin the iterative work of product creation and refinement. You can pivot because you understand why the customer's job to be done is evolving. You can innovate not from a place of guesswork, but from a place of profound insight. Without this foundation, you are building on a swamp. Every achievement is precarious, and the slightest tremor can bring it all down. Now, let's scale the perspective from foundation to battlefield. Running a growth stage company is not a single project. It is a multi-front war. You cannot be a lone general trying to command every battalion from a single hilltop. The complexity will overwhelm you. A more effective framework is to visualize your business as comprising 12 distinct, yet interconnected, battlefronts. These could include Front 1, product innovation and R&D. Front 2, high-touch sales and account management. Front 3, digital user acquisition. Front 4, brand storytelling and public relations. Front 5, talent recruitment and culture building. Front 6, supply chain and vendor management. Front 7, customer success and retention. Front 8, financial planning and investor relations. Front 9, legal and regulatory compliance. Front 10, strategic partnerships and alliances. Front 11, internal technology and data security. Front 12, leadership development and succession planning. Each front requires a specialized commander, a dedicated leader with autonomy, authority, and deep expertise in that domain. Your role as the founder or CEO transforms. You are no longer the chief doer, you are the chief orchestrator. Your primary function is to identify, mentor, and empower these commanders, your disciples or lieutenants. You instill in them the core philosophy, the Jia Tri Loi core values, and then you delegate the tactical execution of these 12 fronts to them. This delegation, however, is not abdication. It creates a new layer of strategic responsibility for you. You establish a rigorous cadence of reporting, not to micromanage, but to maintain strategic coherence. You become the solver of cross-functional problems, the breaker of deadlocks, and the visionary who looks over the horizon. There will be critical moments, or vulnerable points, that fall between the cracks of these 12 fronts. These are the high-stakes, ambiguous challenges that your lieutenants cannot resolve because they transcend any single department's mandate. Perhaps it's a disruptive new competitor using a completely different business model. Perhaps it's a profound shift in societal values that renders your brand messaging obsolete. Perhaps it's an internal cultural crisis that threatens morale. This is where your synthesis of human understanding, strategic foresight, and decisive action becomes irreplaceable. You must sometimes operate off-script, making bold, intuitive calls that bypass conventional analysis. Think of Steve Jobs insisting on the simplicity of the iPod scroll wheel when engineers advocated for more buttons. He understood the user's desire for intuitive joy better than the data suggested. Your ability to navigate these white spaces on the organizational map is what ultimately forges a complete, resilient enterprise. It's the difference between a collection of skilled departments and a unified, formidable organism. This brings us to a crucial, often painful distinction, the difference between success and the appearance of success. Our culture, especially in the entrepreneurial world, is obsessed with visible trophies. The fundraising announcement, the fancy office, the social media following, the glamorous industry awards. These are the BIAOM moments, the celebratory dinners where everyone brags about superficial victories, sometimes financed by debt. This is an illusion, a facade. Real, substantive success is quieter. It is the robustness of your foundation. It is the strength of your leadership bench. It is the genuine loyalty of your customers and employees, built on a bedrock of understood and met needs. It is the systemic capability to weather storms and adapt. Each concept we discuss here, understanding human perception, building the 4-pillar foundation, deploying the 12-front strategy, mentoring commanders, solving strategic whitespace problems, is not a bullet point on a slide. It is a single vital brick in a grand, custom-designed structure. Our learning process is the meticulous laying of these bricks, one by one, ensuring each is set properly with the mortar of practical experience. So, how does this all tie back to the staggering 87% figure? The logic is inexorable. Your product is bought by a person. Your service is delivered to a person. Your team is built of persons. Your partners are negotiated with by persons. Every interface, every touch point, every moment of value creation or destruction is a human interaction. If you misunderstand the person on the other side of that interaction, you introduce friction, distrust, and inefficiency. You miss the market need. You demotivate your star employee. You alienate a key ally. This misunderstanding directly erodes your revenue potential and inflates your costs. Conversely, when you deeply understand, when you can see the world from their perspective, speak to their unspoken fears, and align your offer with their core identity, you create seamless, magnetic, and loyal relationships. You don't just make a sale, you gain an advocate. You don't just hire an employee, you inspire a missionary. This profound understanding is the ultimate operating system for business. It is the silent force that multiplies the effectiveness of your capital, your technology, and your strategy. It is not a module in an MBA program. It is the very lens through which the entire program should be viewed. Let's make this concrete with a real-world example outside of our pig farmer. Consider a global technology company like Apple. Its financial resources are vast. Its technological prowess is legendary. But strip away the sleek devices and the proprietary chips, and what remains? A fanatical focus on the human experience. They don't sell processing speed. They sell creativity, simplicity, and a sense of belonging to an aspirational tribe. Their understanding of human desire for beauty, intuitive design, and status is what allows their technology to command a premium. The technology is the what, but the human understanding is the why that drives immense, sustainable revenue. For another example, look at a company like Zappos in its early days. They sold shoes online, a commodity. Their competitive advantage wasn't inventory or price. It was a maniacal company culture built on delivering wow through service. They empowered their customer service reps to spend hours on the phone, send flowers, and do whatever it took to create a delightful human connection. Their deep understanding that people buy emotions, not just products, fueled their growth and led to their acquisition by Amazon. A final example, local businesses. The neighborhood coffee shop that remembers your name and your usual order isn't just selling caffeine. It's selling community, recognition, and a moment of personal warmth. Their understanding of this local, human need allows them to compete against the scale and efficiency of multinational chains. In each case, the foundational competence was empathy and insight, leveraged through systems and capital. Therefore, the journey of an entrepreneur is a journey inward as much as it is outward. You must cultivate this understanding within yourself before you can architect it into your organization. It requires humility to listen, curiosity to explore beyond data, and the courage to act on human intuition alongside analytical rigor. It means viewing every business challenge first through the lens of human psychology. What is the human need here? What is the fear? What is the unarticulated dream? When you start here, the path to building the right product, assembling the right team, crafting the right message, and forging the right partnerships becomes astonishingly clear. The 13% of success that relies on pure financial and operational mechanics is critical. it's the engine in the car. But the 87%, the understanding of people, is the driver, the navigation system, and the knowledge of the destination. Without it, you have a powerful engine revving loudly, going nowhere fast, or worse, speeding blindly toward a cliff. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to become a student of humanity. Your business will merely be the canvas upon which you apply that profound and ever-deepening knowledge.